Hi, everybody. My name is Megan Scremin. I'm the president and CEO at Special Olympics Colorado, and I'm so excited to spend a little bit of time sharing with you our next strategic plan, which will carry us from 2026 through 2030. This will only take a few minutes, but no, this is just the start of our plan, and we are so excited to spend time working together with our teams, with our athletes, to roll this out over the next couple years. So this presentation will be available on our website, so you can always refer back to it. I think everybody knows our mission, but I want to make sure also we share our vision with you, which is really to create a community where everyone feels included. All of the work that we do here at Special Olympics Colorado is rooted in that vision to really make sure that everybody has that sense of belonging, especially here at Special Olympics Colorado. Now, as we run through this, you might be asking, why even have a strategic plan? And I will say over the past 5 years, our strategic plan really has guided us, but why have it? One, we want to make sure that we are ensuring that we have relevant and impactful programs so that everything that we take the time to do, that they're relevant, that we continue to update and improve and innovate, and that they're creating the impact that we hope for. And then also, we want to align ourselves organization-wide around shared goals based on the needs and feedback that we have received from our athletes and constituents. And that is everyone from our coaches to our family members. We want to make sure that everyone sees themselves and hears themselves in the plan that we will share today. Now, before we move forward, as I said, our last strategic plan really guided our work so much, and we're really proud of where it carried us, especially as it started really in the middle of COVID. So it seems like a long time ago, but oh my gosh, how much has changed. And a few of the key areas of growth that we want to celebrate. We're easy to and fast to move on to our next strategic plan, which is really important. As an organization, we are always looking ahead. We want to make sure we are providing the best for our athletes and our families and our coaches. But it's important to take a minute to think about where we came from and reflect on the work that's happened over the last 5 years, which again started really in the thick of COVID. And we want to thank all of our athletes and coaches and families for sticking with us, because this plan really did guide us through some of the hardest times that as an organization we have experienced, and which is true for so many of us. So our last strategic plan, we dreamt big and really wanted to make sure we saw the number of athletes that we serve grow. And so that led us to the creation of a brand new seasonal registration process, which we continue to refine and tweak as we go based on feedback we receive, but really has changed how we are able to bring on new athletes and teams. We've seen an 81% increase in the number of athletes served. 540 new teams have joined us. We had a goal of 250. 7,000 health screenings have been delivered. 5,000 people have been trained in inclusive health. 2,000 meaningful roles filled by athletes. And that is everywhere from a board member to coach to official. Our athletes have been leading the way every step of this strategic plan. And we also have been able to double the number of unified champion schools. So that's just a little bit to share and celebrate the work that has taken place over the past 5 years and really helps position us for this new strategic plan. Now, how did we come to the strategic plan that we're presenting here today? I promise you, we did not just draw it out of a hat and say, this sounds good. We really made sure to listen to all of our community members. We had a survey and received more than 500 responses. We've had focus groups. We've had internal and external strategic planning committees. We worked with our athlete leaders, our athlete leadership councils along the way and throughout this process to see, are we on the right track? Is this kind of a response to what we're hearing from you? And so it's been so helpful to have the feedback from our coaches, our family members, and of course, most importantly, our athletes as we go. Now, here it is, pictured in our very nice Colorado, although we were wishing we had a little bit more snow this year, visual here, our 26 to 2030 strategic plan. So you can see we have three main goals that we will go through in more detail: lifelong inclusion through sport, athlete empowerment, and creating inclusive communities. And you can see throughout all of the individuals that play a role in making this strategic plan come to life: partners, athletes, families, law enforcement, volunteers, coaches, board members, health professionals. Each and every one of these groups plays a role. I want to give a special shout out to our board of directors led by Mandy Williams, who really did help guide us through this process. They think strategically. They are looking to make sure that Special Olympics Colorado is positioning itself not just for today, but for the athletes of tomorrow and years to come. So a huge thank you to our board who helped bring us this plan and will help us bring it to life. Okay, so through this plan, we have 3 strategic priorities that have come out. And I'm going to go into them in a little bit more detail. As I mentioned, lifelong inclusion through sport, that is all about creating fun and inclusive opportunities for people of all ages and abilities, making sure that they have the opportunity to thrive. Number 2 is empowering our athletes in and beyond sport, fostering health, leadership, fun, and personal growth. And our 3rd strategic priority is all around creating inclusive communities. So that's building inclusive communities through education, collaboration, and greater visibility of SOCO's mission. So I'm going to go into these again in a little bit more detail. Priority number 1, that lifelong inclusion through sport. This is where we want to make sure everybody sees themselves within Special Olympics Colorado and has the opportunity to enter and progress through SOCO in any way, shape, or form, and that it's fun, that it's easy, that it's seamless for them. So under each of our strategic priorities, you'll see that we have 2 outcomes, and then we'll go into some of those key enablers and things that will bring it to life and what we hope to see from this. Outcome 1 is around expanded access for all. And this is something we heard a lot. We want to make sure that everyone can see themselves within Special Olympics Colorado. So some of those key outcomes there, we want to make sure every athlete can access and progress through SOCO. So that's making sure we have those welcoming entry points, participation pathways, and a continuum of opportunities. We want to increase athlete and unified partner participation, and that was a big focus of our last strategic plan. We wanted to make sure that everybody knew that Special Olympics Colorado is here. And in doing so, we really changed ourselves from an organization that welcomes people to hopefully people see an organization that goes out into our communities and is forming those partnerships. And so we want to continue doing that, but we want to do it in an even more strategic way. What we mean by that is finding out where do we have programming and where don't we have programming, and how can we bridge that gap or build partnerships with communities where SOCO might not already have a presence. And then, of course, we want to expand and strengthen Unified Champion schools. As you saw, we doubled the number of Unified Champion schools that we had last year. We want to continue to see that growth, but we also want to deepen the programming, make it the best Unified Champion schools programming and strategies. And we'll do that through collaboration with our educational partners, with students who really are the leaders of this movement. And so we are excited to continue to grow, deepen, and expand Unified Champion schools. So our second outcome under lifelong inclusion through sport, this is a quote that goes back to Eunice Kennedy Shriver, our founder. Make it good, make it easy, make it fun. So we want to make sure that everything that people come and they have an interaction with SOCO, that it's good, easy, and fun. And we'll do that through making sure our events are guided by our core values of joy, unity, inclusion, communication, and excellence. Internally at SOCO, our values guide all that we do, and we want to make sure that everyone externally is seeing an emphasis and focus on those core values. We want to focus on coach recruitment and onboarding. And again, we know that coaching is such a big lift, and yet we would not exist as an organization without our coaches, without their commitment. And so we want to design and implement a comprehensive recruitment, training, and support program for multi-role coaching teams. Again, keeping those coaches at the core of what we do, because we would not exist. Our athletes are so much better because we have such quality coaches who care so deeply. And so as an organization, we want to support that growth. And then we want to continue to be a leader amongst our counterparts in other Special Olympics programs. And we know that comes by continuing to evaluate, improve, and innovate all that we do. And so hopefully everyone will really continue to see us taking a look at what we've always done. And hopefully we've done some things well, but how can we grow? How can we listen to our athletes and our coaches and our school partners and our youth leaders? Say, what can we do differently? How can we think about this in a different light? And that's a really big goal that we have there. So again, we want to make it good. We want to make it easy. We want to make it fun. Now, what you will see some success indicators on this first priority is all around access and accommodation. We want to make sure to reiterate that every athlete who wants to come and participate has that pathway to participation. And we've heard a little bit, athletes might not always see themselves within Special Olympics. And so we want to make sure that no matter where you come from, what your sport ability is, that you have a place here and that it's easy to navigate. We want to have programming in 80% of counties, with 50% of counties offering both school and community programming. Again, part of the strategic planning process gives us a chance to see what we're doing well and holes that we might be able to fill. And when we really lined up where we have school programming and where we have community-based programming, we noticed there was only about 20% of counties where we had both school and community programming. So this is a huge opportunity for us to continue to grow, but to be strategic in our partnerships and our outreach. We know that so many of our communities, when we bring together the community and the school, they already work so closely together. We can bring everybody to the table and hopefully bring Special Olympics to that community in a holistic, strategic way. We want to continue to grow in the number of community teams we have, with a real emphasis, of course, on all age teams, but we know we can do better with our youth teams to make sure that we're partnering with other youth sports organizations, finding out best practices, and what can we bring that fits within Special Olympics so that our youth athletes, our young athletes have the opportunity to begin their SOCO journey from the earliest ages possible and then continue on through adulthood. So we will press on, moving on to our second key priority, which is all around empowering our athletes in and beyond sport, fostering health, leadership, fun, and personal growth. As an organization, our athletes are at the core of every decision, every move we make. They are the leaders of all that we do. And so we really want to make sure we continue to empower those athletes. So first, we're going to do that by improving health, by expanding access to care, resources, and trained providers. So this is where we see those partnerships. So much work has taken place around health and athletes, and giving athletes the same opportunity to access health as everyone else. That remains a key priority. And so we're going to continue doing that. We're going to provide direct services. Those would be those on-site healthy athletes offerings and screenings. We want to build inclusive health systems through trained providers. We are so grateful to be able to partner with those healthcare providers so that they're gaining the experience to work with our athletes that we serve. And then they can go bring that experience back to their communities. And then we want to make sure that health for athletes isn't just a once a year thing that's happening at a competition, that we're really incorporating year-round health prevention and education in a wide variety of ways. Our second outcome under empowering athletes priority is making sure athletes grow as influential leaders, shaping programs and communities. So under here, you'll see a really big focus on expanding our Athlete Leadership University, which is already fabulous, but we want every athlete to come and join us at Athlete Leadership University. They have meaningful capstones. We want to make them even more exciting for everyone who's participating. Second, we want to empower athletes of all abilities as leaders. Again, some of the feedback we've seen is, I'm not sure I can picture myself as a leader, or there's only one type of athlete leader that's out there. So we want to expand that definition of what it means to be an athlete leader, knowing that everyone who wants to be a leader can lead in any way that they choose, and we will partner with them to make sure that those opportunities exist. Whether that be as a mentor, a committee member, sportsmanship ambassador is something that has been brought to us by our athletes that they want to develop as an athlete leadership program or opportunity. So athletes can be sportsmanship ambassadors amongst their teams, at our competitions, and out in the community. And then we also want to launch SOCO Skills for Life, which is all around providing peer-led workshops focusing on a variety of skills using real-world learning. In fact, you'll see those being launched right now. We just sent out an email last week so that athletes have the opportunity to join these SOCO Skills for Life opportunities and leadership workshops. So some of our success indicators here, we want 25,000 health screenings and encounters delivered. And so that might take shape in the form of a health screening that we offer at our competition that many have become familiar with, such as a vision, a dentistry, audiology screening. Or we also know that we can get even more creative in how we bring health to our athletes. So one example being at some competitions, everybody's of course off busy competing in their sport. So how can we bring that health encounter right to you at your competition? If you're getting ready to tee off at golf, how can we bring a roving salad bar to you so that we have the chance to talk about nutrition and health in a way that's creative and works for you while you're out there? We want to work with even more healthcare providers. We want to double the number of athletes receiving health screenings. We deliver a lot of screenings each and every year, but we want to deepen the number of athletes who are receiving those screenings. We want more meaningful roles filled by athletes, more people attending Athlete Leadership University. And as I mentioned, that sportsmanship ambassador, we're so excited to see our athletes build that and bring it through. Our third and final key priority is all around creating inclusive communities. And this is about building inclusive communities through education, collaboration, and greater visibility of SOCO's mission. I think many of us are familiar with Special Olympics, but not everybody is. And this is a real intentional effort to get the message of inclusivity that our athletes are sharing out with a much wider audience. So outcome one, we want unified leadership to advance inclusion together. So unified leadership, we've always said this is a mindset or a way of doing our work here at SOCO. It is athlete-led. It makes sure that people without disabilities value, include, enable, listen to people with disabilities because they have experiences that are vital to our shared growth. And so we want to make sure that we have these unified leadership conversations, outcomes at every age possible, starting with our youngest athletes all the way up through adulthood. We want to deliver these presentations in a wide variety of opportunities to a wide variety of audiences. We've often talked about Special Olympics and especially our Unified Champion Schools, which is changing the landscape of schools and for people with and without disabilities by bringing them together. And we see so much more inclusion taking place in schools, which we love, and we want to keep having. Want to keep seeing that, but we also want to have conversations, really important, meaningful conversations around what somebody might be experiencing. And yes, we're more alike than we are different, but differences do exist. And how can we learn from each other and grow from each other? So that's what that unified leadership goal is. We want to advance unified leadership together by learning from each other. And then we want to build awareness and engagement. And that's by expanding spread the word participation. So every March we have spread the word inclusion, and we see that so taking shape in schools. But how can we expand the good work that is happening in schools to our communities, our businesses, law enforcement, to share the importance of choosing to include? We want to have inclusion ambassadors, and these are key partners to serve as ambassadors for Special Olympics and inclusion in all facets of our communities. And then we want to launch an Inclusion Starts Here campaign, which will really continue to spread the word. It will spotlight our athletes and community champions and their stories across all platforms so that we're getting the word out about Special Olympics, the important role that it can play in creating a more inclusive world. And then also, so I think everybody knows us as a sports organization, but we want to make sure everybody knows all of the other things that Special Olympics does as an organization. So we're going to place a really intentional effort on building awareness and engagement with all different folks within the communities. So some success indicators here would be having 10,000 people of all ages trained in unified leadership. We want 1 million+ impressions via Inclusion Starts Here campaign. We want more inclusion ambassadors activated. We want 100% of people who take part in a unified leadership conversation to report a greater willingness to be an advocate for and more importantly, alongside people with disabilities. So these are just a few of the success indicators. And then you see here key enablers. So these are the things that we know need to take place to lift all of these key priorities up. Diversified funding. Funding as a nonprofit has and always will be a key priority for us. Our world goes round thanks to our partners who support our work every step of the way. So we want to make sure we're continuing to diversify that funding. Staff excellence. We have a fabulous team of 45 staff members who work so hard year round. And we want to make sure that we are continuing to invest in ourselves, our professional development. So we are learning, we are growing so that we can provide the best programming possible to our communities. And technology. We know technology plays such a role. We want to make sure that we're removing barriers, making it easier for people to participate. And in fact, we'll be rolling out a new online athlete application, additional coach resources in the year and years to come. So that will remain a key focus of ours moving forward. So that is just a brief overview of our strategic plan and what we are excited to unroll for the rollout for the next 5 years. We remain a partner. We want to hear from you. Thank you so much to our athletes, to our board, for leading the way, making sure that SOCO is doing the best it can for our athletes. And we remain here ready to listen, ready to grow. Something I love about strategic planning is it gives us a direction to go in, goals to shoot for, but also gives us a chance to evaluate along the way and hear, is this the right pathway? If not, how can we course correct and what can we do based on the needs of our communities? So thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for sharing your feedback, and we are so excited for what's to come.